Well, we're back right here in the studio, and the International Day for Monuments and Sites is also known as World Heritage Day, is an international observance held on the 18th of April each year around the world with different types of activities, including visits to monuments and heritage sites, conferences, roundtables, and newspaper articles. And since this day is very near, let's know more about this subject with our distinguished guest, Dr. Ali Al-Najada, an official spokesperson for the Expo 965 team for heritage and crafts exhibitions and talented Kuwaitis. Doctor, it's a pleasure to have you on our program once again. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tariq. It's really a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And maybe now we could start out by telling us the differences between heritage, culture, and tradition. Tell us a little bit about that, sir.
Well, you know, these three terms, sometimes people use them interchangeably, okay, because they are so much related to each other. Culture usually is, let's say, the beliefs, language, definitions of things. That's the, let's say, the culture. But the tradition is usually behaviors that are transmitted or transformed from one generation to another. While heritage is usually the, let's say, the material and non-material things that people also inherit them from one group to another. Usually heritage is limited to a group. Culture is more of a bigger groups of people for nations and so forth. Also the third, or we have the culture, tradition. Yeah, tradition also usually is a group, and sometimes you have people saying that this is a family tradition, or this is a country tradition, or this is a region tradition. For example, like we have the Gulf countries tradition, we are very much close to each other, and then we have the Arabic tradition, serving coffee, for example. It's an Arabic tradition. But sometimes you have, no, this is just a family tradition. Yeah.
So tell us now, what are the different types of heritage, please, Doctor?
Well, there are so many different types of heritage. You have, you know, geographical heritage, monuments, for example. It's part of the heritage, historical heritage. You have the collectibles also can be part of the heritage, human heritage that is, you know, coming from one generation to another. So the range of heritage is so much wide. Even the population, okay, while they are moving from one area to another, where they are, you know, transferring also their tradition and their culture, they become part of the heritage. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit for our audience watching who may not be familiar about our beautiful heritage, the Kuwait heritage?
Oh, the Kuwaiti heritage is very rich, okay, especially, for example, since we are in Ramadan, there are so much to talk about the Kuwaiti heritage during Ramadan. For example, you know, going to the mosque and staying in the mosque for, let's say, a day or two or three. That's part of what they call it i'tikaf. That's part of the Islamic and the Kuwaiti heritage. Having those open meals that they have them in the mosque. What we have, we call it naqsa. It's, you know, a dish that, especially an hour and a half before the iftar, you will see people taking the, you know, food and changing, and that's part of the heritage. Girge'an is also part of the heritage, where on the, I think, 13,
which we're celebrating today.
It is, yeah. You have the small kids, and during my time also, when I was a kid, that was part of our heritage. We were, you know, few kids, we get together and we go knocking on doors, you know, just like what
in the neighborhood, yeah.
In the neighborhood, yes. And we sing for them.
Traditional songs.
Traditional, definitely. And they give us, you know, some sweet things, and sometimes money, sometimes, you know, not a big money, you know, 50 fils, 50 fils, or whatever.
Something nice for the kids.
Something very nice. And until now, you find that also.
Yes.
Ghabge.
All of these are beautiful traditions.
Yeah, ghabge, which is a meal that comes after the break fasting.
After the iftar, yeah.
After the iftar, around 9, 10, 11. Okay, and usually many people are invited to it. So that's also part of our heritage, the Kuwaiti heritage.
Yeah, very nice heritage, and it's nice you summarize some of these things about, especially about the Ramadan time, Dr. Ali. So Tell us now about some of the important role that Expo 965 plays in protecting Kuwait's heritage, sir.
The Expo 965 team for heritage and crafts and talented Kuwaitis was established on the 7th of March 2016. From that day until now, we have about 160 different members. They cover about 52 different types of specialties or areas of specialty that are either related to the culture, tradition, or to the crafts of Kuwait, the traditional crafts, handcrafts in Kuwait. We've held over 150 different exhibitions locally in Kuwait, and we participated in about 15 different international exhibitions where we took some of the collectibles, some of our work and tradition from Kuwait, materialistic collectibles, to show them overseas. The last one was in Expo Dubai 2020.
How was it?
Yes, it was fantastic opportunity. And by the way, I would like to thank the Ministry, both of the Social Work and the Ministry of Information, for supporting our team. And the Ministry of Information, I think they supported about 6 of our members to participate. They paid for their tickets, transportation, and for living expenses.
So it was a successful event?
It was a successful, and I'm sure that we've done a good job. That's not what I said, but this is
what the others said.
What the others said, and especially the visitors who came to visit the section where the Kuwait exhibition was held in Expo Dubai.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it's a very important place to be to talk about our heritage.
Exactly.
I mean, everyone from all around the world is visiting there.
Exactly. And by the way, we have about 7 people who won international prizes for handcrafts. And that's also
amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. That's something that is quite important for Kuwait to be known also. Every time that we raise the flag of Kuwait internationally, I say that this is a great success for the Kuwaiti heritage, tradition, and culture, because people ask, what is this? Who's doing it? Why they are doing it? So they raise questions, and we are always ready to answer their questions.
Good to hear that. Now, one of the Kuwaiti traditions in Ramadan, which you mentioned earlier, maybe you could elaborate a little more on that, is Girgi'an, which we're having this evening.
Exactly.
People probably now, kids going around in their neighborhoods dressed up, and they sing some traditional songs. So tell us about this occasion and how it's important. You said even when you were a child, you were doing this. It's lived by generation to generation.
Exactly.
Elaborate a little bit more on that, sir.
Usually for 3 nights, the 13th, 14th, and the 15th night of the month of Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan, kids over, let's say, 6, 7 years old, up to sometimes to 16, 17 years old, I would say 15, 16. They gather in groups and they go around from one neighborhood to another, from one house to another, and they knock on the door and they say, Girgi'an o Girgi'an, Beitik Sayyir Burmaydan. This is one of the traditional songs. And if the people at the end, they say, they ask them, do you have some sweet for us? And if the people say yes, they open the door, and then they ask them to sing for one of their kids.
Right.
Okay. So we say Girgi'an o Girgi'an بيتك صير برميضان يلا تخلي ولدهم يلا تخلي محمد عسى البقعة مطمة ولا توازي على يعني please God save this kid for his family, for his mother especially. And then the household, the head of the household or the mother or the grandmother, sometimes they give us the the sweet for the kids, and that is a big joy.
And everyone's very happy then.
Everyone is very happy. In the past, this, it was very simple, very sweet, and it was very safe. Children are moving from one area to another. Now, I think it changed a little bit. It became little more sophisticated. And you will see not the children of the neighborhood as much as, let's say, the kids of a household with maybe a maid or their mother, like 3 kids. In the past, we would go like 10, 15 kids.
A big group together.
A big group, yeah. And we each one of us will have a bag that is made of cloth okay, and we hang it on our neck, and they put the sweet in it, the chocolate and so forth. Or sometimes we have a head of the team, and he has a big bag, and everything is poured in his bag. And then we go at the end, let's say around 11. We start after the Isha prayer, and then around 10 o'clock, 10:30, we go in a corner in the neighborhood, and we have, you know, everything displayed, all the sweet and the nuts and everything, and we try to split them equally. Everybody gets his share.
Yeah, it's
that was in the past.
It's a really beautiful tradition.
It is.
So,
and I hope that it's going to continue.
Inshallah, it will
same.
continue.
Inshallah.
Dr. Ali, please tell us now, you know, during Ramadan, Expo 965 team is very active. Can you tell us about some of the activities that you're doing in the holy month of Ramadan, please?
We've held number of exhibitions. The last one, which is going to be this coming Saturday, it's going to be in Mabarrat al-Baghli, and I believe it's in Salmiya or Maithiyah. And we will participate also in part with the Girga'an, because they will celebrate the Girga'an. People are invited to go to that Mabarra. And
what time is that?
I believe they start maybe around 8:30, and I would say whoever is interested in attending that event, he or she, that they can look it up on our Instagram account. They just write Expo, EXPO 965, and they can
find out all the details.
Find out all the details about all our activities throughout the year.
Okay, you were telling us a little bit earlier, you know, about Girgi'an, how it changed over the years. And now how can we protect our heritage? You know, things change with, you know, new era, new generations. How do we keep our heritage pure and as it is,
well,
Dr.
you know,
Ali?
it's unfortunately, it's not just in Kuwait.
It's
not
worldwide.
It's worldwide that culture, tradition, heritage is changing. It is getting updated. And that's one of the things that, you know, hit hard the culture and the heritage and the tradition. With the new generations, they believe in something different, not like the, you know, old, and say their parents and grandparents and so forth. And if you think, or if you look into any of our tradition over the years, let's say 60, 70, 80 years ago, and you look at it today, it kind of got alternated, changed. Sometimes it vanished and something else came in its place. But that's part of our, let's say, duty and our responsibility as Expo 965 team to kind of keep it going and try to remind people about it, and hold as many activities, workshops, and show as many collectibles, home collectibles, currency, let's say stamps, crafts.
You have a lot of those things?
Oh yes, definitely we do.
Great.
Okay, a lot of documents. So that's part of our responsibility that we are holding, and hopefully people who come to our exhibitions, they can see it, they can raise questions, we can answer them, and in many cases, elderly people whom we respect a lot, they come and they provide us with information.
Amazing.
They will tell us that, you know, let's say, for example, the cup that you have, in the past, we never had a cup similar to this, but we would drink water in something else. So that's another piece of information. Or they will say, this is a new color. Usually we will have it in white. So that adds to our information, and it is from, let's say, a life source. Okay, somebody who lived the event, who is transforming the information from one generation to another. That's how we teach and we learn at the same time.
Dr. Ali, please tell us about some of your upcoming events that you have on the schedule in the near future, please.
On the near future, for myself, and also as a representative, as a spokesperson, I just came from the Republic of Uzbekistan.
How was that trip?
It was fantastic. I was selected as an international jury to evaluate the city of Bukhara as a
beautiful city.
It is. Bukhara, Samarkand, Tashkent, they are beautiful. They are full of, let's say, historical sites, buildings, and traditions. and I will be going to it toward the end of the month of May. And by the way,
Also to do more work there?
also to do more work, and two of our members, they are going to be participating in the first international festival for jewelry and gilded or golden embroidery.
Where is this? Uzbekistan?
That's going to be in Bukhara.
Okay.
Okay. And we have also another one that submitted his work for the World Craft Council Asia Pacific region, what do you call it? Yeah, Award of Excellence.
Amazing.
In crafts. So that's what is coming up in May for the team overseas. But you know, in Kuwait, I think we're going to have more of these exhibitions and events in Kuwait, inshallah.
Great to hear that. You know, the team and yourself, Dr. Ali, doing a great job.
We're trying.
With so many numerous activities, keeping alive and reviving our beautiful heritage.
Alhamdulillah.
Do you have any last words or comments for the audience watching Hala Kuwait tonight, sir?
I would say, please try to, I mean, young people, please take the event now during the month of Ramadan and after Ramadan to get together with your elderly. Ask them about your tradition, culture, heritage. Learn from them. They are now with us. Down the road, they may not be with us, so learn from them. That's one thing. Anything that you have from your family heritage, please cherish it. Keep it, okay? Use it. Teach your kids about it, because it is the way to keep things alive in the memory of our youngsters.
Very well said, and it was a pleasure to have you on our program, Dr. Ali, once again.
Thank
and we
you.
hope to have you on soon.
Definitely. Thank you very
sir.
much.
Thank you very much. We'd like to thank our distinguished guest, Dr. Ali Al-Najada, official spokesperson for the Expo 965 team for Heritage and Crafts exhibitions, and talented Kuwaitis. Wishing him and the team all the best of luck in their future endeavors.